A very good evening and welcome to this Sunday's edition of News First Weekend, coming to you live from our News First studios in Colombo. I'm Arundhati Mudannaik. Let's start off with a look at the stories making headlines this evening.
Public institutions must be people-oriented. A statement from the President. Gotabaya Rajapaksa quashes rumours of entering Parliament. Wanyagama Reserve in Putlam falls into the clutches of politics. Wattala jogging track destroyed with ministerial influence. Day-old newborn found dead in a canal.
Speaking at an event held in Manampitiya Pulonnaruwa today, President Maithripala Sirisena spoke on how state institutions must be shaped.
A joint police mobile service program titled A Good Society, A Safer Country was held at the Nisanka Mallapura Primary School in Manampitiya under the auspices of the President.
Institutions which have no public involvement will never come under scrutiny among the people, media, nor any other sector. No allegations will be raised against them either. But whatever institution which has public involvement will always come under scrutiny. Institutions which have a high and strong involvement with the public provide a service to the people of this country, just as it does to other countries.
A special interview with President Maithripala Sirisena will be telecast on our sister channel Sirasa TV at 10:30 tonight. Former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa was questioned today over a rumour regarding attempts to secure his entry into Parliament.
Journalists questioned Gotabaya Rajapaksa on the sidelines of the opening ceremony for a new Dhamma school building at the Samarasingha Ramaya in Telijjavila.
I cannot simply enter Parliament. There must be a public mandate. No, it cannot be done through the national list. There is no need. There are plenty of individuals who entered through the national list. You must ask the people. It is the people who know whether a government is good or bad. The power of the people is more important than everything else. If you forget that, everyone will be finished. No one can work against the will of the people.
Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa participated at a farmers' conference in Ratnapura today.
The government should work for the public. There is no point in scolding the opposition. They scold only Mahinda Rajapaksa and the opposition. If that is the case, then they cannot reprimand me alone. They must scold everyone from the former cabinet. They always say Mahinda. It is like I was the only member of the cabinet.
Speaking at an event held in Dadigama today, the president of the SLFP Youth Front, Shanta Bandara, expressed these views on politicians wishing to see a power transition.
You would have seen that every time Mahinda is questioned on TV about the formation of a new party, he always replies, no, he is not for a new party, he will not leave the SLFP. So who wants this to happen? It is the minor parties. How far can a flea travel alone? But when it clings on to a dog's back, the flea can travel very far. The flea gets a free ride. What does he do en route? He does not simply travel, he sucks the blood out of the dog. No matter what development was undertaken in the past, you may have seen it on the news on Sirasa TV. The shortcomings highlighted by those teams on the Gum at the program who travelled from village to village are the problems facing this country. We could not even imagine that these problems existed in our country.
Minister Akila Viraj Karyavasam claims that a minor group in the opposition is attempting to topple the government.
The minister made these statements at the opening ceremony for a road which connects Induruwatta, Kuliyapitiya and Tittapitiya.
How did we take over the government in the past? We gathered all of you and staged protest. We informed the public. We did all of that to take over the government. How are these people who call themselves as joint opposition trying to take over the government? By smashing coconuts. Even the coconuts they use are stolen. They smash coconuts stolen from plantations. They are trying to take over by cutting off power and conspiring. Now they are trying to bring a no-confidence motion against the finance minister.
Environmentalists claim that the Wanyagama Reserve in Thabbowa in the Putlam district has fallen into the clutches of a politician.
The Wanyagama Reserve in Thabbowa is prominent due to the fact that it connects a network of jungles. A Gazette notification released on the 8th of July 2013 notes the area of the reserve as 9,501.87 hectares. The reserve, which borders the Murukku-Watawana area along the Navagattegama road in Karuwalagaswaiva, is also connected to the Wilpattu National Park. This dry and evergreen mixed reserve is a natural habitat for herds of wild elephants and is rich in biodiversity. The Environment Conservation Trust charges that while a group of persons responsible for the deforestation were arrested, they were later released due to political interference. Deforestation has occurred in a 4-acre area of the Wanyagama Forest Reserve already, and the land is being prepared for farming with the direct intervention of Minister Palitha Range Bandara. As per the Forest Conservation Ordinance, the Forest Conservation Department is empowered to arrest not only persons engaged in deforestation of protected reserves, but also persons who aid and abet such activity without a warrant. Newsfirst questioned Minister Palitha Range Bandara regarding the accusation. This Sannasa states, as long as the sun and moon exist, as long as Andagala and Athugala exist, this will be valid. So when certain rules and regulations in the country change, based on those rules and regulations, the owners of these properties, as mentioned in the Sannasa, should act accordingly. Newsfirst also made inquiries from the Secretary of the Karuwalagaswaiva Pradeshiya Sabha. Is the Forest Conservation Department aware of the destruction that has taken place? We were made aware of unauthorized deforestation about 10 days ago. Officers of the Forest Conservation Department took steps to put a stop to the deforestation. It is a protected reserve and any deforestation there should be met with the maximum prison sentence as punishment. We took immediate steps to halt the deforestation. If there is unauthorized deforestation taking place in spite of this, then we will take legal action as per the Forest Conservation Ordinance.
On to another one of our headline-making stories. The jogging track at Kaluala in Wattala, which was constructed at a cost of 8 million rupees, was destroyed by backhoes last night.
The stones along the jogging track had been removed at around 10 last night. The jogging track, which is about 1 kilometer in length, was constructed by the previous regime and many people used the track for their daily exercises. It is astounding to see that this was done even with the police providing security for the area. It would have taken at least 6 to 7 hours to demolish this. How did the police not hear or see this?
When there is ample space for development activity, the track, which was built at a cost of 8 million, was destroyed by him last night for 20 million. This is a crime. A famous politician from Wattala, elected from the Gampaha district, is connected to this. I do not have any relatives nor any land. There is a village behind this, and this road will be constructed to travel to that village. We have already received permission and the permit letter was handed over to the police.
Newsfirst made inquiries from Minister of Megapolis and Western Province Development Patali Champika Ranawaka.
We regret not informing the public, but in the near future we are expecting to build the necessary road system along with the jogging track, because we have a policy to protect the neighbouring areas as catchment areas and open them up for roads, and to reduce the traffic congestion and to provide facilities to the public to enter into their lands. We were not informed about that and we regret it. We will take steps to resolve this issue.
Welcome back to the news. Christians believe he came to deliver us from sin. Even in the face of hatred, ridicule and humiliation, the Son of God, Jesus Christ, spread the breath of love, to all humanity. Today is Easter Sunday and Newsfirst Chaturanga Hapuarachi filed this report.
Today is Easter Sunday. 2015 years ago, on a day like this, Jesus Christ was resurrected after being crucified and laid to rest. On this historic day, Newsfirst set out to find out whether any physical or material things were left behind from the incident that took place 2015 years ago. Stepping away from the hustle and bustle at the Newsfirst newsroom, we set out today in search of the extraordinary and amazing part of the life of Jesus Christ, a historic character that inspired billions all around the world for over 2,000 years. This scientific piece of evidence that would prove the existence of Jesus Christ was secured on the day Jesus resurrected from the dead. Would you believe that the cloth that was used to cover the body of Jesus as it was laid in a tomb after it was lowered from the cross he was crucified on still exists? In 544 AC, a piece of cloth that has the image of a man surfaces, and in 944 AC, it is confirmed that an image of a complete human body is imprinted on it. This same cloth surfaces again in the year 1532 AC during the Crusades. It catches fire as it was laid in a church in France, placed inside a silver bowl. The burn marks can be seen even today. In the year 1898, a lawyer obtained a photograph of this cloth. To his amazement, a positive image of the cloth had been captured on the negative photoreel of the camera. The world was amazed by the incident that transpired in the year 1898 with regard to this cloth. In the year 1978, a group of 44 scientists carried out a special inspection on the cloth. The inspection was permitted by Pope John Paul II. They were able to reveal many key factors regarding the cloth. Few of the key factors that were revealed were that the cloth was not a painting and that it had the imprint of a Jewish male who was 6 feet tall and was between 30 to 35 years of age. It was also revealed by scientists that the blood that were on the cloth was AB positive. Since the original cloth is currently placed in Turin, Italy, this cloth gets its pseudonym the Shroud of Turin. One of the 3 copies that were made for research purposes is sent to Sri Lanka and is placed at the Silvestro Benedictines Monastery in Ampitia, Kandy, also known as Montefano. A number of evidences that would confirm that this is in fact the burial cloth of Jesus Christ can be seen. Here are a few.
The front and back view of the 6-foot-tall Jesus' body is imprinted on this cloth. The holy face of Jesus Christ is imprinted in a negative form, as this has occurred when light passed through this cloth. If you observe closely, you can observe blood marks around the head area and a mark as if number 3 was drawn upside down. We know that Jesus Christ was made to wear a crown of thorns. Christ was not made to wear a crown, but it was a bush of thorns that has been pushed or pressured into his head. The thorns have sunk into the head as a result. Thereby 13 wounds can be seen in the front of the head and 22 wounds can be clearly seen behind the head with blood stains. Another visible blood stain can be seen here. As we know, they pierced the side of Jesus as he hung on the cross to receive confirmation of his death. According to this, Jesus has not been nailed on his palm but on his wrist. Based on the information that has been obtained thus far, you can certify this to be of Jesus. The first point is the crown. No criminal in the world has been crucified with a crown on the head. The second point is a coin found placed on his right eye. A coin which had the name of Pilate imprinted on it in Hebrew. The sign of the monarch has been imprinted on it. Scientists say that Jesus has died in this time period. They have also arrived in the pollen that was found from the flowers that were placed near the body. It has been classified that these flowers still grow in thorn shrubs in the Palestine area. Our belief should not be placed on materials, but you cannot leave this aside.
Issuing his Easter message, President of the Catholic Bishops' Conference in Sri Lanka, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit urged that we strive for peace and reconciliation in the country.
While noting that Jesus Christ appeared to his disciples and granted them his gift of peace, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit says, quote, Let us invoke the same gift of peace as we strive to foster peace and reconciliation in our country, unquote. In his message, the president of the Catholic Bishops' Conference in Sri Lanka says that as we cannot forget that true peace is a result of justice, he adds that it is the responsibility of those who govern the country to establish a true democratic framework where all citizens, irrespective of their caste, creed or color, are able to live with dignity and freedom.
After Holy Week blighted by bomb attacks in Brussels, Pope Francis led the world's 1.2 billion Roman Catholics into Easter celebrations last night by urging them not to lose hope in a gloomy world.
Speaking amid tight security at the Vatican, the pontiff entered a dark basilica with just a single candle guiding him. As he reached the altar, the basilica's floodlights came on to symbolize the resurrection of Jesus. Large crowds also gathered in a sunny St. Peter's Square this morning for the traditional Easter Sunday Mass led by Pope Francis. Pope Francis called for the world to use the weapon of love to combat the evil of blind and brutal violence.
Fratelli e sorelle, buona Pasqua.
May the Lord Jesus, our peace, by his resurrection, triumphed over evil and sin, draw us closer to this Easter feast, to the victims of terrorism, that blind, the brutal form of violence which continues to shed blood in different parts of the world. As in the recent attacks in Belgium, Turkey, Nigeria, Chad, Cameroon, Ivory Coast and Iraq, with the weapon of love, God has defeated selfishness and death. To the power of the risen Lord we entrust the talks now in course, that goodwill and the cooperation of all will bear fruit in peace and initiate the building of a fraternal society, respectful of the dignity and rights of each citizen.
Due to the absence of rain in the island, the supply of water to several areas of the country has been disrupted.
As there has been no rainfall for several months, water levels in rivers have reduced, causing seawater to flow into the rivers. This has affected the Kaluganga as well. Due to this situation, locals charge that salt water has got mixed with the water which is distributed to the Kaluthuru district from the Kathana water treatment plant. As a solution to this issue, the National Water Supply and Drainage Board has installed temporary water tanks to several nearby areas in the Kaluthuru district.
Though they provide water tanks, due to the high demand, we still have not received water. It is the problem to the public.
Nearly 5,000 acres of paddy land has been destroyed in the Jamburgodeyaya area in Valigama due to the mixture of salt water to the Pollathu river. Several villages including Jamburgodeyaya and Ilvatta, which the Pollathu river supplies water to, are now facing a severe water crisis.
The entire area is already covered in salt.
Locals say that the Ilvatta dam has deteriorated, causing seawater to mix with Pollathu river. Our correspondent said that minor repairs were made to the Ilvatta dam this morning. The prevailing dry weather conditions has also seen a reduction of water levels in the Nilvala river, causing a mixture of seawater to the river. To prevent further mixture, measures are being taken with the initiative of the Sri Lanka Army to build salt water barrier.
We have almost completed 95% of the salt water barrier. We have stopped the salt reaching the main plants.
Meanwhile, according to our correspondent, functions at the Nadugala water treatment plant, which pumps around 6,000 litres of water daily, has come to a standstill.
It is difficult without water. We had a little bit of water yesterday, but today we don't have water.
The color of the water has changed. Sometimes an oil layer appears on the water. Meanwhile, the Rakwana, Kotattala, Uda Kottala, Lower Kottala, Nedunketia and Rakwana South areas in the Ratnapura district are facing a severe water scarcity. Area residents say the main cause for the water crisis is due to the deforestation of reserves located close to the Singharaja Forest Reserve. Our correspondent said that the water scarcity is affecting close to 1,000 families. However, these communities quench their thirst with aid from donors in the area.
I'm 57 years old. I have been living in this village for that long, but we've never experienced such a drought season in this village.
There is no water in the tanks. We suffer a lot without water. You'll be blessed if you get us water. Active streams such as the Indikatu stream, Rakwana river, Gangoda stream and Singharaja stream are gradually drying up. Residents of the Rosalla village in Hatton staged a demonstration this morning, charging that they do not have drinking water. They charge that the water they obtain from the private land situated further to the village is unclean. Atmospheric conditions conducive to rain are forming over the island.
On the journey in search of more details into hidden Sri Lankan prehistory, the Newsfirst team made camp in Udupiyangalge in Diyawina. Tonight's episode on the series In Search of the Life of the Prehistoric Man brings insight into archaeological patience.
Udupiyangalge is believed to be a stop in the transition of the era of the hunter-gatherer. The first ever record of this was made by Dr. P.B. Deranegala, who inspected the cave in 1936 in search of prehistoric evidence, and a very brief note on his discovery was made. 8 years later, a team led by Professor Raj Somadeva, who are conducting a fresh and more comprehensive expedition, pointed out that the location reveals details of 2 settlement levels.
අපි දැන් සාමාන්‍ය පොළොව මට්ටමේ ඉඳලා මීටර් 2.5කට ආසන්න ගැඹුරකින් ඉන්නේ. මේ ගැඹුර ඇතුලේ අඩුම තරමේ අවුරුදු 6000ක පමණ ඉතිහාසයේ වැළලී තිබෙන බව අපිට පේනවා.
We are 2.5 meters below ground level. The history dating back to 6,000 years is hidden beneath these layers of earth. When we reached 1 meter in depth, we came across grain and stone tools that are believed to be used by the ancestors. We also made a discovery of a large haul of snail shells. This reveals to us that this was used by the ancestors over 4,000 years ago, and this area was a wet environment. Another 1 meter into the dig site, we came across the bones of deer and other large animals, which leads us to believe that they were hunted.
ක්‍රමක්‍රමයෙන් ගොළුබෙල්ලන් පරිභෝජනය කිරීම අවසන් වෙලා ඒ වෙනුවට මුවන් ගෝන්නුන් වගේ විශාල සතුන් දඩයන් කිරීමට පෙළඹිච්ච බව අපිට මේ මට්ටමේදී පේනවා.
Professor Somadeva says that the evidence discovered at this site proves the opinion that was made based on the excavations carried out in the Lunugalge in Ilukumura. A copious amount of tools made out of animal bones were discovered at this dig, which were mainly used to make a hole in the shells of the snails that the prehistoric man had for their meals. Another set of bones are of a python and brings a thought that the prehistoric man also consumed meat. The discoveries also include grain, stone instruments and other items that indicate they were used for some purpose. Professor Raj Somadeva notes that the hunter-gatherer who migrated from the Balangoda hills to the plains below teaches us a lesson of great importance.
After our last year excavation in Ilukumbura, so we came here to investigate our basic hypothesis of the transition of the hunter-gatherers in Sri Lanka. So we have a fairly large excavation here. So main objective of this excavation is to investigate the transformation of the early hunter-gatherers towards the farming and exploitation of floral materials. So, so far we got a very important set of data, including stone implements and plus burnt seeds and enormous effort reflecting the leap towards to exploit terrestrial animals like snails, mollusks, especially cows and paludomus, easily available in the surrounding landscape.
Udupiyangalge is not only of great historic importance, but is also a place used by monks in the past, and there is evidence that proves this. Our ancestors, or as we call him, the prehistoric man, move all the way from the mountains in Halrumulla to the plains below. And this is where historians and archaeologists believe the transformation from the hunter-gatherer period to the farming era had taken place. Now our journey is here, and our destination is right below in the plains. And when we move there, we might be able to understand what was the reason for the hunter-gatherers to convert into farmers. Until next time, for the Newsfirst team with Vandika Hettiarachi and Lakhnuwan Varanakula Surya, I'm Zulfik Farzan for Newsfirst.
On to another one of our headline-making stories. The body of an abandoned infant was discovered in a canal in Kandy today.
The newborn's body was discovered in a canal near the Red Anicut on the Lake Road near the sacred temple of the Tooth Relic. The infant who had been abandoned in the canal was dead by the time police recovered the body. Police suspect the infant was only a day old. Police are conducting investigations to determine if the newborn was killed prior to being dumped in the canal.
Meanwhile, Afghanistan recorded a historic first T20 international victory over and the ICC full member team earlier today, defeating the powerhouse West Indies by 6 runs in their dead rubber group stage match at Nagpur. And with that, we wrap up tonight's edition of News First Weekend. Thank you very much for joining us. Good night.